I grew up in Texas, grew up our family had a ranch, our family was in a ranching business and other things. But I grew up in that environment where you eat steak and potatoes and everything fried, and people were hunters and all of that kind of stuff. So that's the background I come from. When you conjure up an image of Texas, that's where I was. I was already kind of cognizant from the standpoint that I probably should do something about my health. You see so much in the media about how bad I thought at the time red meat was for you and that kind of thing. And but the other thing that really came into play was just my own mortality, from the standpoint that when I was younger I was invincible, and yet as I was getting older, I had friends who I thought were in good health. Some of them were one of them was a jogger attorney that I knew, and he jogged several days a week, and looked to be in great health, and just dropped dead of a heart attack one day while he was jogging. And so that really got my attention, and then I lost another friend who was in the oil and gas business through a heart attack, who I thought was in good health also. So it really started, I started to focus in on well, if these guys, can have a heart attack, and I thought they were healthy, what's my risk? It's my uncle. He had a stroke, and it was very debilitating, and then he had multiple strokes after that. And to make a long story short, he spent the last year of his life in a nursing home on feeding tubes and hooked up to IVs and that kind of thing. My wife, she got me to read the China study after she read it, and it totally changed my outlook. I 100% changed my diet, and shortly thereafter that we went to Costa Rica to the McDougall getaway for 10 days, I believe it was. That really reinforced what I had read about, and it gave us a practical way of going about trying to change our diet and live this life. And about that same time frame, we discovered that my PSA score had gone up to over 4, and so we decided, after talking with Dr. McDougall down there at the 10-day event, that we would really try to clean our diet up even stronger. And we eliminate oils and all sugar and things like that, nothing refined in our food. And make a long story short, my PSA score has come down to about 1. I think the lowest we've had it lately is 0.98, and it's been either side of 1 now for the last couple of years. And within the first month, I lost 20 pounds easily. And my cholesterol, which was over 200 at the time, came down to around 150, and it stayed there since then. I used to have to sleep with a bottle of Maalox by my bed because I would have indigestion, that type of thing, and it'd wake me up in the middle of the night. And so I would, I'd eat maybe 3 or 4 Maalox, a night, just to get through a night, and this was, almost every night. And so the first thing I noticed about that is those symptoms went away. I've not eaten a Maalox since then. Wouldn't even, of course, think of it now, but at the time I thought that was the thing to do. Being the mayor gives you some advantages within the community, as far as at least nobody's going to tell you too much to your face that they think you're crazy. Now, when they get behind you, they will. But one thing is, though, it's given us a platform to talk about, and so what we've tried to do is bring a community change within our community through bringing people in to talk to us. We've created a group called Get Healthy Marshall. It's drawn a lot of attention in the media, and a lot of people have taken notice of it, and we've had a lot of results in other people's lives. And so we've started trying to make a change within our community to reach out and bring this message to our city. We started out presenting this message to our firefighters and our fire department, and we made some headway there, even to the extent that our fire chief and our assistant fire chief have changed their diet. They've lost 20, 30 pounds. Our assistant chief was a diabetic on insulin. He's off all of his medications now. Our fire chief was taking meds to control blood pressure and that type of thing. He's off of all of that now. It's spilled over some of the people in our police department, some of the other people in our fire department. So what my hope is, and what I would like to do going forward, is to bring something to just for our city employees to see if we can't find a way to get them to embrace this, because our health care costs have been going up exponentially over the last few years, and it's a huge, huge drain on our budget. One of our city employees, who is our Main Street manager, he had had 2 heart attacks. He was over 100 pounds overweight, and he was taking 4 shots of insulin a day for diabetes, and he was continued having heart difficulties, heart angina and things like that, and he was in bad shape, and we were able to visit with him enough to coax him into making a change. We gave him Dr. McDougall's books and information about that, and we kind of tried to implement the McDougall program for him in his life and help him with that, and he has since lost 100 pounds of weight. He's off all of his medications. He's not having any heart issues at this point. He's gone from being one of our biggest financial liabilities in our health plan to 0. And
he's an advocate now.
And then, and he's actually an advocate within the city for embracing this type of lifestyle.